fun part. Share this thing. Let's get a bunch of people on here so that we can drink a bottle of Pappy. We've updated this. Andrew Hall, thanks for being here. Tusk Media, at Tusk Media LLC. We have already called the election for Hillary Clinton. We might have to check things and see if we're wrong. New York Times says we're wrong. Interesting, New York Times now saying 59% chance that Donald Trump is going to win. What's wild about that is a couple of days ago they were at 99% that he was going to lose. So kind of coming full circle. Nate Silver is kind of gloating, but I think also kind of saying, man, I wish I'd called this thing a little bit closer. Ben Nye joining me right now. Ben, thoughts on the closeness of the election? Because I think we're both a little surprised.
Yeah, the whole time leading up to it, I was kind of publicly saying that
After party we hear.
Wow, I mean, we're having a good time here right now. The whole time, we're talking about there's optionality in a race. It's kind of like when you have an investment, there's optionality. If things can happen before the race, and then obviously at the polls. The biggest thing I'm seeing though right now is the difference between the exit polls and the actual results. Because what we're seeing is like if you multiply, they split out the Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, and then say how many of each, and then they give a number of who they voted for. And if you do the math on that, it's actually favorable to the, it's favorable to Hillary Clinton, but the vote is trending more toward Trump. So there's a bias in the exit polls that I don't think a lot of people are picking up. But that's kind of the trend that we're seeing early here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild. I think the closeness is certainly something to keep an eye on. I think the biggest storyline here is everybody out there watching needs to be aware of a couple things. Number one, if we get 500 people on here, we can drink some Pappy.
Yeah.
Number two, it's going to be the Pappy Rye, which is I've been dying to have. It's a 12-year rye. I'm a big rye guy. I've had the 23, I've had the 20, I've had the 15, I've had the 12, I've had the 10, but I've not had the rye. Dying to try it. So please share this. Let's get a bunch of people on here. So that's number one to keep in mind. Number two to keep in mind is this country is fragmented. It's irreconcilable at this point. If you like Trump, you're a racist, homophobe, you're sexist. If you like Hillary Clinton, you are pro-corruption, pro-crime. That's the narrative I'm seeing, at least on social media. There is no other explanation. You could not possibly vote for Hillary Clinton unless you were voting directly for crime. You could not possibly be voting for Trump unless you're voting for bigotry. That's the narrative we're seeing, and I don't think it's great for the country. So that's the other thing that's a little bit wild right now. On the other side, I'm all about rooting for the underdog, so it's kind of fun to watch that gap between exit polling, that gap between projections, how quickly some of these models, again, moving from 99% basically 100% is pretty insane to actually see the Senate looking super strong now for the Republicans when it was basically viewed as a toss-up coming into the night. It's kind of wild. I mean, again, like even a couple hours ago, we called this thing for Hillary Clinton. We're not backing off of our call. We're not backing off of our projection. But lots of places too close to call right now.
Right. Yeah, it's exciting right now. It looks like Florida's kind of going the way of Trump. I don't know. You want to make a projection?
Oh man,
I think we can make a projection. I think we can call Alaska.
We are calling Alaska
for Donald Trump.
Wow.
I think the trends are going to continue. I think that's going to carry him. Nothing else, just the trends. Like not the polling, not the demographics of Alaska. Just the trend of what we're seeing.
Breaking news: Alaska, the state of Alaska has been called for Donald J. Trump. By Tusk Media. You heard it here first at Tusk Media LLC on Twitter. They have called the state of Alaska for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Wow. Big. So we probably update our projections.
That's big. I mean, biggest state in the union, right?
That's big league.
I mean,
that's big league.
So as long as he wins Alaska and Texas, he's won.
So let's go ahead and bump Trump up to 140.
Okay.
We need to adjust this significantly. That's not been updated. So 105 plus 140 is 245. Taken out of 538.
So, what, 197?
397? 297? That can't be right. It's gotta be 2.
Math is getting so difficult.
Math is tough.
No, it's 3 because that's almost 200.
It's 245.
This is incredible. Incredible live television.
538
It's
minus
gotta be 297.
minus 245.
Okay.
This is wild.
That
So
is- that is
It's just everything's
so
happening
297.
so fast.
Now, if you're doing the math right here, 245, 297. That tells me we know less than we know.
yeah.
Statistically speaking. Other thing that I think is really very much at play right now, California has not been called. That means it is too close to be called. So California not yet called. Probably the wise thing would be to split those 55 electoral votes either way, just if we want to project this thing, because it could go either way. But really, Trump's leading, so we should probably give him more. Maybe we can give him the whole state, because that's how these things actually work. If you do that, all of a sudden Trump's sitting tight at a 90-point electoral lead, just based on what we can probably safely project with California going to Donald Trump. We're not calling it, but we do think that might happen. Closeness. I think that's the storyline. Conservative man, I think you are, based on how quickly they processed your voting application in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, they were excited.
I certainly lean conservative. I think we are firmly in the danger zone as conservatives of getting excited about something just as a party victory. Don't mishear this. I don't think anybody's going to be like high-fiving saying either of these people won. I do expect quite a bit of Democratic gloat tomorrow. I'm okay with that. I've accepted it. So we called the election for Hillary Clinton, kind of an emotional hedge. Either we were the first people in the country to get it right, or we don't have to hear the gloating, one or the other. But I think we're in the danger zone for Republicans right now. Feeling pretty good, I will say we're feeling pretty good much later than was the case with Romney. By Romney, we were pretty much calling this thing by now. It was pretty much done. Bunch of boxes need to be checked, but Trump looking strong in Florida, strong in Virginia.
I think Virginia is going to have a recount.
Too early to call, says the AP. Do you want to call it? No, not yet. Virginia, too early to call. Intern Scotty walking in the room. Intern Scotty.
What's the latest on Virginia?
Not looking great.
Has Clinton taken the lead?
I don't think so. Has Clinton taken the lead in Virginia?
Scotty says not looking great, talking about the liberal terrain of the state.
Matt just did the math on Florida and Hillary's.
12,000. Florida is still in play.
Yeah, Florida's still in play.
What does that mean?
There's a couple counties that are still
Like
very
Clinton
low
might win it,
percentage,
or
very high.
like Trump could still win it.
Like if the trends continue, Clinton has a pretty good chance of winning Florida.
Really?
Too early to call.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
We already called it. It's in our numbers.
We didn't call Florida.
No, we didn't.
No.
Barstool did though.
We are, shout out to Barstool Sports. They're calling states prematurely.
Ridiculous.
They might miss Florida. We have not missed a state yet.
No.
We are calling that Florida is too early to call.
Yeah.
Virginia, too early to call. North Carolina, too early to call. Right now, a lot of reason for optimism. Again, if you're a Trump voter, supporter, or just an anti-Hillary-er, if you're in that camp, lots of reason to be optimistic. If you are an investor, lots of reason to be pessimistic. Dow futures
Gold,
down.
unless you have gold, because gold is up over 2% right now.
Gold to the moon. I don't know. Barrett just made like sign language to me. I don't know what it means.
He just wanted to put me in the middle of the shot.
I don't want you guys to shift over.
We're gonna shift here. Dow futures down like 300 points. Basically on the notion that Trump might win. Maybe a good chance to buy if you.
S&P futures down 3% right now.
I haven't seen S&P
I
futures
think
drop like that since Brexit. Not to use the B word live on film. Sorry to use the B word, but since the Brexit, we haven't seen anything like that in futures terms. But also potentially a buying dip if you want to do some after-hours trading, because we're basically reading into 3 states that are too early to call and saying, oh, he's going to win all 3.
Yeah.
And that's a big jump, because what's wild is all of a sudden you throw Florida there, you throw Virginia, you throw North Carolina here, and all of a sudden this thing's done. Real quick. And I mean, not to say I told you so, but we called it. So kind of something to keep an eye on. What do the little homes with check marks mean? I don't know, but that was a cool graphic. Do that again if you just did something on YouTube or on Periscope. Do it again. We are on YouTube Live. Search Tusk Media.
There we go.
We're going rock and rolling there. We've got like 3 viewers there, maybe. That's an estimate.
3 on the spot.
Yeah, that's incredible that we're seeing futures down so much. I would not have thought that. I mean, market really reading into this.
Yeah, way too.
I mean, interesting thing. Josh Brown, who's been CNBC personality, who's been very against Donald Trump this whole time, he was saying that I think it's kind of just this thing about media personalities getting out in front of things that we do not do here. You know, when we make a call, we have pretty firm conviction in it. Other people, I guess, not so much. They kind of go back and forth. We made a call. We're sticking to it, and but the market's just gyrating like crazy.
We stand by Hillary Clinton at over 300 electoral votes. I made the call earlier today at Tusk Media LLC on Twitter.
For the record, I said 270 for Clinton.
But you didn't make a call, so that means nothing. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I made a call. We called it. Over 300 electoral votes coming to Hillary. Going to steal a couple from Romney. Going to give up a couple that Obama won. It's going to be wild because
So let's look at the map. So what do you think we have? So North Carolina and Virginia are running closer than we thought.
You
had North Carolina going.
I had North Carolina going to Trump. Of the
Pence 2020, yeah.
Yeah, the traditional swings I thought, or not traditional, but like, I guess like consensus swings. Like Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all those. I thought North Carolina, well, not Ohio, but I thought North Carolina was a state that would go for Trump.
Yeah. So interesting theory. We just had a comment that said,
what?
Harambe lives. He's been resurrected.
Pardon that interruption.
So we actually had an interesting theory from one of the analysts, Sam Frost. It was kind of expanded upon about. We had a comment there that was Pence 2020. Interesting, there is a way it could be Pence 2016.
Yes.
Do you want to go and explore how that's possible?
So
what happens?
If we actually go Romney 2024, there we go. Clinton Foundation 2028, they're going to find a way to run their foundation. You heard it here first.
Foundations are people, my friends.
If you get a split, 269 to 269, which would be a really nice outcome, and then you get a split at the House level, technically it goes to the Senate, right?
Yeah.
And at which point they basically choose between the VPs. I think that's how it works. I might be making that up. I did watch this on the show Veep on HBO, and I kind of think that's what happened because I feel like when Selena Myers ran for president, her VP became president. I see that.
Interesting. Other way Pence could win in 2016. Trump goes to the inauguration, gets the keys to the White House from Donald Trump.
Key drop.
Turns around, says, "I proved to you I could win," because there was that whole issue in 2013 with the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Says, "I proved I could win." Mike Pence, you're president.
That'd be wild, man.
It would be the theatrics of it, though.
The theatrics would be like, I don't like talk about making our nation look like a laughingstock.
Yeah.
But also kind of looking cool, at the same time. Like,
what other country would that happen?
And what would be incredible is Trump would come out and say, "Nobody has more humility than me.
Yeah.
I'm too humbled by this honor. I'm going to pass it to the great Mike Pence, great running mate. No one has more respect for Mike Pence. I'm out." And then he would continue and go on to second guess everything Mike Pence did for 4 years
on Trump TV.
And it's kind of a win-win because it's the ultimate Trump card, pun totally intended. It's the ultimate Trump card because the old saying, if you don't vote you can't complain. If you don't win the presidency you can't complain.
Yeah.
And Trump can then complain for the rest of his life and be like, I would have done it this way.
Right.
So it would be pretty solid. Ben, we're gonna take a break here. Getting closing thoughts, comments.
Well, I'm excited to look. We got Nevada, Iowa,
Nevada is apparently
and Utah all closing. So all pretty big important states. Plus we got Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania still out.
Hopefully we get a Florida call before we come back.
Hopefully we get a Florida call. I'm good. It's looking difficult to see
we
how.
Get mandatory state recount.
Yeah.
If it's less than 0.5%.
Less than that.